Good morning. Okay, we're going to get started. Looks like we've got a couple of people, Gwendolyn and Palma. Do you guys want to be seen? They may not want to be seen. So hold on just a second. Let me get my, there we go, get my chat going. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let us know in the chat if you can't hear anything. I'd like to start out with introductions. My name is Kathy Bledsoe, and I've been with the Hope Squad program since we started it way back when in Provo School District. And my main responsibility now is overseeing the Hope Squads in Utah, supporting and training them. And so I'd like to do introductions, and we'll hear from some of our Hope Squad staff, and then you advisors, we would love to hear where you're from, how long you've had a Hope Squad. So I'm going to start with Karen.
Good morning, everyone. Karen, I've been with Hope Squad for 1.5 years now. Woo woo. So retired teacher here in Vegas. I live in Vegas. They're all in Provo. Lacey and Kathy are in Provo. And I just like to jump on with Kathy and learn as much as I can as I continue to help support the Western region teachers and advisors.
So Karen's a former teacher and she's awesome. She's caught on super fast to everything with Hope Squad and just an awesome resource. Evelyn, I know you just don't want to be seen, but I think they need to meet the gal that answers our phones.
Hi, everyone. My name is Evelyn. I've probably spoken with many of you before, so I just help schools with the starting process. And I was actually a former Hope Squad advisor now 2 years ago, and I've been with Hope Squad for 1 year now as well. And I've loved every minute of it. It's been great.
So Evelyn, I hear all the time, people will email me and say the kind lady that answered the phone. Well, that's Evelyn. Now you have a face with that kind voice. Thanks, Evelyn. Lexi, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Alexi. I have been with the Hope Squad office for a little over 2 months now, but I've actually been involved with Hope Squad for over 11 years. I was a junior high member, a high school member, and then I was an advisor for 6 years. So my heart is with Hope Squad and I just love it a ton. So thank you for what you guys do.
So Lexi's a great addition. We couldn't be happier to have her on board. She's our first full-time Hope Squad former member that's a part of the team, and she's an awesome support too for all of you. So let's go with Lisa. Lisa, you want to tell us about yourself and where you are?
Sure. My name is Lisa Nelson, and I am a school social worker in Illinois. So I'm in Prairie Grove. We're a small school. We have preschool through 8th grade. My focus is 5th through 8th grade. This is actually the 3rd year that we're doing Hope Squad, but we had some remote time where, in the beginning, I have 19 members with me. This year myself and a science teacher run it. I don't know if I said I'm the school social worker. So I just was hopping on. I actually was kind of being a space cadet, and in my head was thinking we are Central Time Zone. So I was hopping on at 10 o'clock my time, and I was like, oh, that's not the time zone. So I have a meeting that I'm going to in like 20 minutes, but I wanted to come on, kind of see what this was, introduce myself. Palma has been super supportive. I feel like I email her too much, but I appreciate that.
So you can't email any of us too much. That's why we're here. Okay. And Lisa, how big is your school? Are you a rural school?
We should be combined with a larger neighboring district, but for some reason we're this little off district. So our whole district, preschool through 8th grade, is less than 1,000 students, but my 5th through 8th grade is 400 and some students. We're really small. Okay. Just kind of by design. It's definitely not how the schools are out here. My own children, we're in a neighboring town, and my kids are old now, but when they started school, My youngest went to kindergarten and there were 22 kindergarten classes in her building. This is like the level of, so I always say my kids are a number one place, but I'm at like this place where like everybody knows everybody and everybody's siblings and everybody's aunts that went here, and we're in a different little space, but it's a great space.
Hey, thank you for joining us. And Gwendolyn.
Hi. You can call me Gwen. Yeah, I'm at a high school, a small 8 through 12 high schools, 700 or so students all told. This is our first year. It would have been our second year, but Hurricane Ida messed up our year last year. So it's our second year. And I'm just always looking for more to learn. We had a meeting today. That's why I had my t-shirt on with the kids on communication skills. And it was just, it's nice to have 43 members, 3 advisors. I'm the senior advisor. And we're just always looking for new ideas and trying to balance that we don't take on more than we can handle or that the kids can handle, because they're all very various, ages and involvement in school and involvement outside of school. And just, so anyway, it's a good day when I get to spend a couple of hours with them though.
And Gwen, where are you located?
Oh, I'm sorry. South Louisiana. We're in a little town called Thibodaux, which is about, 60 minutes south of New Orleans.
You're in a K through 12 school. Is it rural?
It's not K through 12, it's 8 through 12.
8 through
8th
12.
grade
Okay.
through 12th grade,
Okay.
right.
Sounds
Mhm.
good. Okay, Palma, nice to see you.
Hi, it's nice to see you too. My name is Palma Lacey. I actually don't work with a school. I work for a nonprofit in Illinois called Alyssa's Mission, and we bring suicide prevention programs like Hope Squad to middle and high schools and elementary schools in our area. So Lisa is one of our schools. So I don't think I've ever met her face to face. So this is the first time, only through emails. But I've been working at Alyssa's Mission since 2019, and I've been working with Hope Squad since 2020. So
Thank you for joining us. And Tam, see you, Tam. You want to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. Tam Larnard, Director of Education and Training for Hope Squad. I serve most of the schools in the West Coast and the Upper Midwest, and always excited to hear and learn more about how Hope Squad works from the guru, Kathy Bledsoe.
Now, Tam is an awesome resource also, former principal. He's got a lot of great ideas for you. Okay, Andrea, can you take a minute and introduce yourself?
I'm Andrea Schubert and very new to Hope Squad. In fact, we haven't started a Hope Squad here in Dillon, Montana yet. I've got 2 advisors that are attending a training this month, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm just joining to get a feel for what's going on.
Okay, great. So before we do anything else, Lisa, you've got to leave soon. I want to make sure we address your questions before you leave. Do you have questions you'd like us? You've got some awesome resources on this call.
Hey, really, we're just trying to map out our Day of Hope for February and our Hope Week. Right now, I've reached out to a couple of people. I'm looking for a motivational speaker that would be good to come. Palma's helping me with that. I found some really nice video clips that I'm hoping to embed in our morning announcements, just to kind of have those things, but I'm looking for any great ideas that anybody has. We did our first Hope Week last year. We had the dress themes, we passed out information, we had some community resource people, but I feel like it wasn't really like a super memorable event for our students, which is, on us. We're the ones that planned it. We tried to get it a little more memorable. The kids, of course, did the theme dress up days, tied with the message, but I think that's pretty much what their takeaway was, which is not my.
So I'm going to share my screen, and I think this will be helpful for all of you. Just a reminder of what's on our website. in the advisor portal. If you scroll down to training your squad, there's a link right here, ideas for Hope Squads. If you click on this, you'll find lots of ideas over here. You can see there's a Day of Hope tab. Activity ideas will give you ideas for Hope Week. So I would say spend some time scrolling through here. There's lots of photos and tons of ideas. I cannot stress, there are so many ideas on here. So just FYI, you'll all, as you get your squads going, or Lisa, as you're planning your Day of Hope and Hope Week, definitely go to that tab. Any other ideas from our support people on here? Go ahead.
I would also just add that now we have every month, we have a school-wide activity recommendation going along with every theme. So maybe look at some of those from past months. If you hadn't done those might be some good ideas as well during your Hope Week. It might be the theme from October, but it might be the Wednesday of your Hope Week, whatever the activity is. And so, yeah, Kathy has them right there. If you click on any one of those months and you scroll down, it'll show you. I love this one, shred your stress. So kids in the cafeteria would write down something that's stressing them. And of course, every school has shredders, and then they shred it. Away it goes. Bye-bye stress.
That's a great one.
Thank you. Thank you, Tam. That's one thing that we're stressing more this year. Sorry, let me get back down there, is school-wide activities. That's one of the major great things about Hope Squads, is that they can share what they learn. And you've got these kids that are super talented and a lot of energy, and let them put that energy to putting together these school-wide activities. Like in November, it was gratitude. So here's one on gratitude. And they always come out in the newsletters also. Hey, Lisa, did that kind of answer your questions?
Yes, thank you. I just,
Good.
it's like, I actually have time. I think I can squeeze in quickly. So I'm going to try to, I put it on my calendar to try to do this every month.
So-
Lisa, the other thing I could recommend is, I was a former Stuco advisor back in the 90s. I didn't plan homecoming week. The kids planned homecoming week. And so put as much of this as you can on the students as a leadership development opportunity for them. I mean, maybe share with them, here are some ideas on the advisor portal website, but really kind of hand it off to the kids to do much of the planning and preparation, and take that off your plate, because we know how busy you are doing everything else, your day job, right? And so, and again, this is just good stuff for kids to learn how to organize and plan and implement and see a project through, like Hope Week. I think you also mentioned the Day of Hope, right? In February. Kathy, can you speak a little bit to that? Because I know we have some templates and things available.
Lisa, did you get the newsletter that we sent out yesterday?
Yes.
Perfect. So we put together a toolkit to go with the Day of Hope. And initially, when we started that Day of Hope, and I want to say it's been like 4 years ago, the idea was to encourage the Hope Squads to do more in their community. And for example, what we do in Utah is we contact the governor's office, we send a draft proclamation that says Utah Governor Spencer Cox is going to declare February 16th, 2023 as Utah's Day of Hope. And so I think we even have a draft proclamation in the toolkit. We've heard of squads that will go to their city council, their mayor, which I think the city council and mayor would be blown away to have a Hope Squad come to them and share what they're doing and say, we want to do this Day of Hope. And I mean, you could even have your squad kids really expand it and visit businesses and have a little Day of Hope sign. That's a lot, but there's a lot you can do with it, or just do an activity in your school to promote hope. And so the toolkit will give some ideas. And as you saw on the idea page, there's Day of Hope ideas on there too.
Thank you.
You bet. Do you have other questions, Lisa?
Nope.
Okay. So any other questions? There's a couple of things I was just going to point out, reminders about the program. Palma, Andrea, Gwen, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we also want to make sure that we answer any questions you have.
When your two advisors are going to do the Zoom training, right? In January, is that
They
correct?
are.
Okay,
Yes, the 18th and 19th, I believe. It's coming.
I
up.
said Gwen, I meant Andrea. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That's what I thought. All right.
We will see them next week then.
They're in for a treat. Cam and Karen do an awesome job.
We'll do our best. That's all I can promise.
Andrea, did you have some questions?
I really don't, not at this time. I'm just super excited to get going with Hope Squad. I didn't mention, so we will be implementing 6 through, I work in a K through 8 school district. So the Hope Squad will be implemented with our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders this spring.
Perfect, perfect. We always suggest, and I'll let some of our former advisors and support people chime in, to start slow. You know, you don't have to do everything. There's a lot to the Hope Squad program, and we do that because we're educators. We've got that education background, and we know that it's better to give you more than less, because you can take what you need from that. And so don't feel like you have to do everything. When you get into the curriculum, you're going to see 27 phases, and but you've got your core phases, which you always start with, and then you choose what is going to work with your squad. I highly recommend keeping that first year simple. Any other thoughts on that with organizing a squad? And
Like Tam always says, keep it your squad manageable, the size manageable, and don't let it overwhelm you, because like Tam said, we know you have your daytime job, and just like Kathy's saying, you need that good balance. But I tell you what, every time I go to the different schools, because I go to Marl and I help out with my old middle school, and then I go to the high schools, it fills my cup to be around those kids. They're so positive. They have so much energy. I get lifted when I give back. So I know we're asking you guys to do one more thing on your plate, but I swear when you get involved and start doing, you're like, oh my gosh, this is definitely making my job worthwhile. So keep it simple.
that's what we hear from advisors all the time. It turns out to be the favorite thing about their job, because you do a lot of positive things for your school. Any other?
Last night, my officers had asked for just time together. No itinerary, no lessons, no anything, just time together. So we did a potluck, and they had the best time. They were visiting, and then they started playing Pictionary. And it was only like an hour or so together, but like between everybody going places, and they said, like, we never get to just like have fun and relax.
Yeah.
Just
Bonding.
true. So we forget that they're under a lot of pressures and a lot of demands on their time as well. And then some of them don't get out that much. And so this was a great opportunity for them to get out and actually meet not just the faces of their squad members, but actually interact with them. So particularly my 8th graders, because they're really shy, and the seniors are not at all intimidating, but to them they are. They're just like, so we've started splitting them into groups with the seniors and the juniors helping out the younger ones, which has worked really, really well. So if you got that broad age of kids, it's probably a good idea to do that, to get like their own mentor within the group.
Yeah, Gwen, I like that.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying, I like that. We did a hopeful holidays party before the winter break at school too. And the other advisor and I bought the pizza, and then kids brought in things for dessert, and then everyone kind of brought their own drink, but just they played some board games and just kind of had conversations. I feel like I run it kind of like a drill sergeant, because I'm like, we have so much to talk about. We have so much to do. Like, let's get going. So it was nice to just let them have that moment. And I have to say, so this is our 3rd year. The first 2 years, we really had it completely, the students did the nominations. Like it was, they voted completely based on that's how we selected our members. But we ended up noticing that I was having some glitches where Maybe it was some of my super popular students that were nominated in because that's who everybody knows. And so that's just kind of who they voted for. But I was having people kind of sit in the back, maybe having a side conversation. It was becoming a little bit frustrating of a situation. So last year, at the end of the year, I emailed each grade level team and didn't tell them what I was asking specifically for, but I just said, I'm looking for a few names that you can tell me are your leaders, the people that you see that are really helpful, that reach out, that they're compassionate to others. I didn't give them a reason why, so that at the end of the year, while those names were kind of fresh in their head, they gave me my list and I just kind of filed that away until the start of this year. We also did the same nominations we always have. My principal is like, we are absolutely sticking to that plan. So we stuck to that plan. And then I really just double checked like people that were nominated versus what the teachers had said. And, you know, I know it's a little bit of an alteration of what, you know, the hope had been for how we get our people, but I have a squad this year that is 1000% invested and it's much more productive. So, you know, I reached out to Huntley High School, which is where my daughter goes, and asked that advisor, you know, how he does it. And he said they take all their nominations are from the teachers at, you know, it's a high school of 3,026 kids. So it's a pretty, like I said, my kids are we're in the next town over is a big town. So anyways, I don't know if you haven't started your squads or if you've nominated your people yet, Andrea, but for me, it took me 2 years of kind of a learning curve of, we're pretty small, but the popular kids are like extremely popular, but sometimes not really the most compassionate. And
Lisa, I love that method. And that's the method that I kind of ask other people, other schools to do, because kids know kids. So that's great to see that nomination, but the popular kids tend to get on those nomination lists. And then for you to ask teachers after they had the kids the whole year, teachers can see things in the classroom setting as well, and also in the hallway as well, and give you that input. And to balance both of those, we always tell you guys have the final say who's on your squad. So yeah, that nomination list, but if you know an LGBTQ plus person who didn't get on that nomination kit, or a kid who seems to be quiet, but you see her interacting or him interacting in the back room, helping others, putting them on the squad, that's a great way of developing your squad. And you see that output and see your results. So that's an awesome advice.
I always say that doing nominations will bring up names of students that you won't think of, but you're not tied to that list and you're not tied to taking the top kids. It'll give you an idea of what the other kids may be seeing. You really got to stress it's not a popularity contest. They're not electing student officers.
Our administrator was really like, we're going with the numbers. And I was like, well, I complied the first 2 years and now I'm going with my heart. So
Well, and remember that the goal is to have a very diverse cross-section of students.
yes.
And so, yeah, all the popular kids might be nominated, but you don't need all the popular kids. You might need 1 or 2 of them, but we also need that kid in the band. We need that kid on the robotics team. Like Karen said, we need that LGBTQ plus. We know they're 2.5 times more likely to die by suicide. So the adults in the room make the final decisions. Nobody knows who was nominated, who wasn't. And you know, all the popular kids might be 11th and 12th graders. Well, we don't need we need an even distribution between all the different grades. So yeah, I call a couple of them for sure, but just because they were all nominated doesn't mean they all have to get on.
The
I-
bottom line is they're
Lisa,
selected. Yeah.
You said you went with the numbers and then you went with your heart. What did do you have more than recommended or less than recommended?
No, so I ended up with a nice mix. I had a couple of students in particular that while they're super popular, I actually have some students tell me that like they're a little bit afraid of them verbally because like they're super popular, but they're not super kind. And so then I met with each of those kids. We have it where if you were on the squad last year, of course you have the right, and you know, we would love to have you continue because otherwise I'm going to be starting from square one with my curriculum and, you know, each thing each time. So there were 2 in particular that I was hoping were going to give up their spots, and that I met with them individually and pointed out some things that like I know they would prefer to do during that time, as evidenced by the fact that they're sitting in the back of the room texting or doing whatever they're doing. And they both decided that they had given their time. I thanked them for their time and they didn't come back. So I did offer it to everybody that was nominated as our top, our top spots, but unfortunately, it's not a typical thing, but I had a few that were nominated that, like, behind the scenes, I don't know that a lot of kids would go to them. They're pretty judgmental,
Yep, then don't pick them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hog the whole session and now I'm jumping off for an IEP meeting, so I'm really sorry.
Nope, you didn't. Nope. That was perfect. And in fact, I wanted to talk a little bit about when you start your squad, and I'm just going to share my screen again. Just a couple of reminders that after you get your squad started, they're selected. You want to remember that we've got our pre-surveys. That's one of the first things you want to do before you start teaching, besides the parent permission form, before you start teaching any of the lessons, is to give them these surveys. We've got our elementary and our secondary right here. In fact, I had an advisor email me the other day and said that firewalls are really strong in the schools, rightfully so. And she was saying her squad members were having a hard time accessing the surveys. And I said, can they take it on their phones? And so she was going to look into that, but the QR code makes it so easy. And if a student doesn't have a phone, they can share somebody else's phone and take the survey. And then the data collection form, this is something that we used in Provo eons ago. And it's what it is. It's a form for advisors, or if you share it with other people in your school that meet with students, like other school counselors, that after they meet, and I'll just click on it, after they meet with a student that has suicide concerns, it's just a Google form that they fill out. You can see the advisor email, advisor name, the role in the school, the district, and we have all of that information there so that we can share this data with you. There's no student identification information on this form. It's just information for our researchers that is very, very helpful. And then, as I mentioned, this data is available to you. You just send me an email and we're happy to get that to you. So those are a few things that we always like to remind you of when you get your squad going. And we just had somebody join us, Michelle Brooks. Michelle, do you want to take a minute and introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, so I am in Gardner, Nevada. I just started a Hope Squad at CC Manili Elementary School here.
So Karen and Tam are in Nevada.
Michelle, what county are you in? Are you in Douglas or Lyon?
Douglas County. Yeah, I was at your meeting a few months ago, Tam.
Okay, I thought so. The name looked familiar. Awesome. How's it going so far? I love hearing the updates.
It's going great. Yeah, we've only had 2 meetings so far, but the kids are really engaged and loving it. Like, some of them are like, it's a privilege to be a part of this. So,
that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
If you see Shannon, tell him I said hello, and what a great training. Literally, of all the ones I did last year, probably my favorite one up in Douglas County. Just such a highly engaged and enthusiastic, just an incredible group of educators that were so dedicated to this cause. So kudos to you, Michelle. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam.
And I just want to say hi, Michelle. I'm your support person for Nevada. So just reach out. I'm the one who sent you the email and welcomed you after Tam trained you. So if you ever need anything, just hit me up. Elementary is my weak spot, but I always have Kathy to go to. So
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
Any questions? Andrea, Palma, Michelle, and Gwen. Anything we can help you with?
No, none so far.
Okay. Any challenges with getting your squad going?
No, everyone at my school has been super supportive as far as selecting students and encouraging their participation. So it's been great.
Thanks.
So have you all been able to do school-wide activities? How's that going? Is that a challenge?
I actually haven't rolled any of that out yet. I know we have our kindness week next month, so I want to incorporate some of that with the kindness activities. So that's what I'll be looking towards in the next couple weeks.
So which grades are in your Hope Squad?
They're fourth and fifth.
Okay, fourth and fifth grade. Okay, great. Great. Okay. I want to make sure that we address questions, and we're not going to drag this call out any longer than we need to. So I'll ask again, questions and our support people, is there anything that you feel you'd like to share?
I just wanted to share to Gwendolyn, when you guys had the luncheon, Gwendolyn, that's self-care. We ask you to teach the lesson, maybe the first week you meet with them, the second one, that activity that builds on the lesson, get them together and decide what activity you're going to push out school-wide. And then that fourth time is just checking in with them and seeing how they're doing. So that when they had the luncheon and everything, they needed that. So that's self-care. So don't feel like you're not doing them justice by doing that. That's something they need and something that you should just incorporate even on a monthly basis. Just check in with them, self-care, meditate, yoga, snacks, chill, games. I think that's great that you did that with them.
Thank you.
In fact, Gwen, if you want to write that up
Mhm.
and send it, or on that Hope Squad idea link, if you click on there and scroll all the way down, you can submit an idea. I love that idea, having a potluck, letting your kids just come and chill. It's an awesome idea.
Hey, Michelle,
Yes.
I know you guys are just getting started. And when you get into the advisor portal, Kathy was just showing it earlier, we were talking about school-wide activities. Just to make it as easy as possible for you, look at each month, even if it's a month that's already gone by. And there's just some great ideas in there for school-wide activities that are aligned to the theme for each month. But like you shared the one from October earlier, Kathy, which I love. It's Shred Your Stress, I think it was, just to give you an easy access to school-wide activities that take very little preparation, but your kiddos can really take that whole message of resilience and stress relief school-wide with a very simple like lunchtime activity.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of these activities, especially when you let your squad kiddos get involved and let them do the planning. In January, the theme is optimism. Oh, they haven't attached it yet. Okay, I've got to make sure they get that school-wide activity attached. In December, it was kindness and forgiveness. So here's an activity about brightening someone's day. So yeah.
Yeah, I have a question on that one, because I was looking at that one today, but where it says, follow the lesson plan found here, there isn't a link. You see how they have like bracelets, kits from Amazon, where you could click on it and get linked over to what she had purchased, and then the found here, right below there in that first paragraph, instructions on the lesson plan, like the links don't work.
Ah,
Were they
okay.
supposed to work, or?
That's a good question. So I will talk with our website person, and like there's a video here.
Right.
Okay.
There's a video clip, and then there's an example further down, but they don't, at least on a Mac, I'm on a Mac, but it doesn't take me anywhere else when I click on it.
Yeah, well, it should, if there's a link, then it should work on anything. So thank you.
No
Thank you for
problem.
bringing that up.
That's what I was doing, looking back over months that we hadn't gotten to do the activity to see if we could use it for Hope Week.
Great idea. Okay. Wow.
It looks like Lori gave us this one, Lori Baldwin. So we just
Yeah.
need to reach out to her and ask her to share those links with us. So John can attach them,
Right.
hyperlink them.
Double check if there are attachments. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, anything else you'd like to talk about? Our support people? Tam?
Nope, all good. So excited to see people on, and also to get the update from Douglas County. This totally made my day, Michelle. Thank you.
Well, Tam, I'd like you to share how they can involve the principal. I think this is really, really important.
And again, I totally agree. It's about cultivating that network of allies, and the principals, you kind of want to make sure he or she is kind of your number one ally and advocate. And so different things that Adam would do, simply just send a calendar invite when you have the meetings. I mean, run by him, say, hey, by the way, I'm just going to send you the invite. I get it, you're busy. But even if at, you know, one of the meetings this month, if you could just stop by and say hi to the kids, let them know how much you appreciate them, you know, and again, it just put it on my radar. Otherwise, there's 50 different club meetings going on any different day, it seemed like, at a school as big as mine. So that just put it on my radar. And I was able to stop down and to say hello. I didn't stay for the whole meetings. Getting the principal a Hope Squad shirt when you order your shirts, I think is a big way for him or her to communicate their support for the program. Having, you know, getting your principal's ear about having time to, during faculty meetings, to talk, not just the initial kind of, hey, intro to Hope Squad, but maybe even giving the faculty a little update. Hey, just want to let you know, our Hope Squad kids had 13 referrals in the first semester of this school year, and potentially that's 13 lives saved, and just kind of giving them an update so they understand the worth and value of having a Hope Squad. When you do your Hope Week activities, maybe it's a lunchtime activity, inviting the principal to join in on one or two of those, just to kind of, again, so kids actually see him or her modeling their support for your Hope Squad.
Perfect.
And the last thing, I'm sorry, don't be afraid to ask your Stuco, because like Tam said, I was part of Stuco. Tam started Stuco at Basic. So don't like when you're doing your Hope Week, don't be shy. Ask your Stuco advisor as well. They'll probably help out with your activities to help roll those out.
And it can be a give and take, like, hey, if you help us with Hope Week, we'll help you guys with Homecoming Week next fall. And so you don't want your Hope Squad and Stuco to feel like they're competing with one another. You really want them to be working together for the important times of the year that they're both, you know, being featured. Homecoming Week, obviously, for Stuco. Hope Week is a huge deal for Hope Squads, and they don't need to be mutually exclusive. They can definitely work together to support one another in those endeavors.
Absolutely. That's something that I did too as an advisor for our Hope Week, just because sometimes planning a big week is really stressful, and trying to find an activity for every single day is a little tricky for some kids, depending on the size of your group. So we would reach out to our student council and our GSA and, you know, our NHS and say, hey, do you guys want to do an activity? It could be really anything. Some of them would just stand at the door during lunch and tell everybody to have a good day, see you later, or, you know, just little things like that, but just to give them a presence as well, because hope doesn't end with Hope Squad. It's you know, with everybody. So getting everybody involved is a really fun way to build that community and get that support.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that input. Okay. Anything else before we end this call? So if you have a question after we end this call, you've met Karen, who is a great support. Lexi's a great support. Tam is. In the learning management system, we've got Hope Squad coaches that you may also email. It's support@hopesquad.com, right, Karen? Lexi, that. So any question you have, we don't have any Utah people on today. You're all out of state. So support@hopesquad.com is your general go-to to get any questions answered anytime. That's our main responsibility, is to help you be successful. So with that, I think we'll end this call, and thank you. Thank you so much it was good to see those of you and hear from you today, and we appreciate all that you do. The program works because of you advisors, and we are just so grateful that you're willing to do this. So thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye, thank you.